I hated intimacy with my husband. I actually dreaded it. I would literally count the days in my head.
I don't expect anybody to watch this. This is just gonna be me kind of like vomiting my feelings out into the universe.
I've come to realize that things that I want are not achievable because I refuse to adapt to the current dating standards.
There is a version of a man that people take advantage of, and then there's a version of a man that people cannot access the same way anymore.
Broken women are unlovable. They rather run to the internet looking for validation from other broken women.
Men aren't suddenly refusing to tolerate bad behavior. They're finally stopping after tolerating it for long enough to have the data on what it costs. The threshold didn't lower. The patience ran out.
I think it's so interesting seeing all my friends, people online, talking about how they're like, oh yeah, me and my girlfriends went out to the bars the other night. There were just no suitable men. There were no attractive men there. And everyone's just like, where are all the good men? Where are all the hot men, the good men? As much as some of us hate it and we love hating on dating apps, I think sometimes we need to go on Hinge, we need to go on Cuff, because sometimes these men, they're not out. They're just simply not out because they're the good ones that stay in and then work out and run the next day. Or they're just not at the clubs every weekend.
I really don't want to get into a phase where I'm just I hate men. But I really feel it's coming. I really feel it's coming. It's such a shame. I just want to be left alone now. I just want to be left the fuck alone. Everyone I'm encountering is either disrespectful, has no blasted manners, can't communicate. And I mean, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I've just had enough. I've literally had enough. I just want to be left alone. I'm in a period of solitude. And every time I'd say I'm in a period of solitude, another one of you come along to come and ruin it.
Men are home. Women are out. The desperation being identified online isn't translating into behavioral change in public, which means the online distress is performing a function other than actually solving the problem. Men who aren't leaving their houses have already made their assessment of what's outside. The women who are out haven't updated their approach to reflect why the men aren't joining them.
I hated intimacy with my husband. I actually dreaded it. I would literally count the days in my head, where 3 days kind of felt like a number that kind of felt like too long, so I should probably just go ahead and do it. But every single night, we would get in bed and I would lay there with anxiety because I would feel like he probably wanted it. But even throughout the day, I hated him touching me. Every kiss, every cuddle, every back rub, it would give me the slight anxiety because I felt like it came with an expectation. One time he suggested we did one of those 30-day intimacy challenges and I cried. Another time he bought those spicy couples card and I literally had a full-blown panic attack. Bruh. I remember Googling therapist to try and figure out why I felt this way. I remember scheduling doctor's appointments why my libido was so low. I genuinely thought something was wrong with me. I thought maybe it was my hormones, maybe my drive was just broken, maybe I was just one of those women who just did not enjoy intimacy at all. I remember even saying to myself, if I went my whole entire life never having intimacy, I would be okay with it. For basically 10 years, I was asking myself, what is wrong with me? After our divorce, I became determined to figure this out because I never wanted to bring that into another relationship. After our divorce, I researched, I learned, I just became curious. I bought the toys. I just wanted to figure out and break down these walls of why I felt the way I did. But then I realized I don't hate intimacy. I hated feeling emotionally disconnected from the person I was being intimate with. I'm being honest, I still do carry guilt over the fact that I wasn't able to give him that part of our marriage. Because I know intimacy matters. A marriage can't thrive when two people feel disconnected, and I own that. But here's what I don't own: his decision to cheat. Marriage problems are real. Dead bedrooms are real. Disconnection is real. But when those things happen, you have conversations. You ask for counseling. You fight for your... One time he suggested we did one of those 30-day intimacy challenges and I cried. Another time he bought those spicy couples card and I literally had a full-blown panic.
I hate when I see a man that's so fine and then I pass him and he doesn't say anything. When people say, oh, girls don't shoot their shot. Yes, they do. If I look at you like this, say you walking this way and I'm walking like this, and if I look at you like this, that's me shooting my shot. Come say something.
A smile in passing is not a declaration of intent, and treating it as one is the level of hypersensitivity that ends casual human interaction. Men read the environment, calibrated accordingly, and stopped. The absence of approach that followed wasn't rudeness. It was compliance.
Maybe you're like me and you feel as though you were born in the wrong generation, that the values that you hold for who you are as a person, whether that is male or female, that those things are not embraced or hold much value in today's culture. I'll never quite understand the necessity to express discomfort or dislike for a particular lifestyle or choices that somebody makes. Because if I express my discomfort or dislike for that, I believe it is immature and unnecessary. Because if I don't like the way that they live their life and the choices that they make, why would I even want to bring them on into my life? So emotionally, I'm just going to cut it off and I won't be interested anymore because the way somebody chooses to live their life. That's why I stay single. It's not necessarily always by choice, but good character and a lifestyle at 30 years old that I like and want to be a part of is quite rare. Now, I'm not saying I don't have my own faults here. I had a lot of growing up to do in my early 20s. I was immature. I have tons of flaws and failures that I had to work through and accept about myself, become aware about them, so that when they do arise again, I can make the corrections necessary for the benefit of the relationship I may be in. Those are positive outcomes that contributed into me becoming the man that I am today. Ultimately, I am a firm believer that emotional maturity begins when personal responsibility is accepted. In our culture of entitlement and victimhood, finding a significant other who takes ownership is actually quite rare. Accepting the character flaws and lifestyle which does not contribute to a healthy environment, a healthy family, is quite easy to find. But finding somebody who would be a good wife and a good mother to the children and the family that I would like to build as a man is quite rare. See, I believe that if I chose the wrong partner, that I would be a failure as a man. So I look beyond the physical to identify the spiritual health of a woman, the mental health of a woman, and the emotional maturity of a woman. It would be pure negligence if I didn't. And I refuse to end up with somebody who lives by the standards of our modern culture.
A young man who understands what he's actually selecting for a long-term partner. Character, values, family orientation, before making an irreversible decision, is operating at a level most men only reach after paying the tuition on a bad one. Listen to it early and skip the expensive education.
Broken women are unlovable. They rather run to the internet looking for validation from other broken women. You ladies went on this marketing propaganda, wrote countless articles about how men are so lonely because women have options. But what I find kind of interesting is I see so many videos of women crashing the fuck out because they're not in a relationship. They don't have anybody to hang out with. They don't have nobody to talk to. They're turning 30 and they're so alone. I go into the comment section of married couples, and whenever a woman speaks and say, hey, this is what I do for my man, this is how I express love for my man, I go into the comment section and it's nothing but women in the comment section talking about, you're a pick-me, which I think is so fucking stupid. How you gonna call a married woman a pick-me? Bitch, she's picked already. Then it's videos of women talking about, to my married friends, is it possible that you could send your husband over to my place and he could just do some things and you can come over and we could drink wine? I'm like, why don't you get your own man? Then every time a guy who lets it be known he's married posts something on the internet and he is conventionally attractive, go into the comment section. Can your wife fight? Can your girlfriend fight? It's like, you hoes really did try to push this propaganda that it's men who are desperate for relationship. It's men who are the most loneliest demographic. It's not. Y'all the one who's projecting. Y'all the ones who are extremely lonely. The reason why so many dudes don't want to fuck with you, so many dudes don't want you to be a girlfriend, don't want to wife you up, and that the only thing you're good for is a fucking a dump, because a lot of you do not have a personality and you bring absolutely no value to a relationship.
She's identifying real symptoms, but missing the structural root cause. Family courts are the mechanism that converts a failed relationship into a financial catastrophe for men regardless of what they did or didn't do in the marriage. Fix the exit terms, and the entry calculation changes immediately. Until then, the hesitation is fully rational.
There is a version of a man that people take advantage of, and then there's a version of a man that people cannot access the same way anymore. The difference between the two is not money, is not status, and it's not confidence. Is self-respect. When a man finally starts to respect himself, this is what he stops tolerating. Number one, he will stop tolerating being spoken to with disrespect. Number two, he stops tolerating emotional manipulation. Number three, he stops tolerating chaos that is disguised as passion. Number four, he stops tolerating inconsistency. Number five, this is a doozy. He stops tolerating people that drain his peace. Number six, he stops tolerating being taken for granted. And many of the men out there, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And number seven, he stops tolerating relationships that are one-sided. So all of the ladies out there, when it's all about you and you forgetting about your man, the cutoff is coming if it hasn't already happened. Number eight, he stops explaining himself to people that do not listen. Number nine, he just stops overgiving. He does not do it anymore because he knows that there's no reciprocity there. So what's the point? And number 10, he stops begging for respect. And when a man does all of those things, people will say, oh, now he's all of a sudden, he's so cold, he's so mean. No, he just became clear of who he is. Self-respect teaches a man something super important. Access is earned, peace is protected, and energy is guarded. And once a man respects himself, he no longer has to announce it. His boundaries speak for themselves.
Break the cycles. Build yourself, stop chasing validation, and stop sacrificing your life for people who aren't invested in your outcome. The men who absorb that sequence early are the ones thriving quietly, while everyone else is still performing for an audience that was never going to applaud them.
I've come to realize that things that I want are not achievable because I refuse to adapt to the current dating standards. I'm looking for loyalty in a generation that not only normalizes, but rewards cheating and lustfulness. In a generation where you essentially have to play the game, which is waiting for a text back, waiting to respond to them, doing the push and pull, constantly expecting men to treat you the worst, having to treat men shittier than they treat you, or doing the cheating and cheating back game as well. Like, what happened to yearning? What happened to building yourself up to be a better man so that you can find a good woman, that you can find a wife? Nowadays, it just seems like every man wants a woman that's deemed beautiful by society's standards to have sitting next to him as his trophy wife while he goes and has sex with 18 other girls a day, and his woman has to just sit there. I refuse to believe that these are the standards in dating in today's society, and I'm not sorry when I say this. I refuse to become corrupted as well. I'm not sorry that I speak up when I like someone. I'm not sorry that I make an effort to see you because I actually like you. And I'm not sorry that I go into relationships leading with my intention so that nothing gets misconstrued on my end. I really don't care what anybody else has to say about my beliefs because at the end of the day, this is what I believe. I want to be someone's backbone. I want to be someone's wife. I want to be there when you can't be there for yourself, to help push you and guide you constantly. I want to be your right hand. I've built a pretty decent life for myself, and I know that if I was able to stay true to my morals throughout everything, I know that my future husband is somewhere out there also staying true to the same morals. And before you say anything, yes, I do live in Miami. And yes, there's a very unique lifestyle out here. But universally, everybody has adapted to these ideals. It's just shown more prominently out here than it is in certain other places. I will never be sorry for being a certified lover girl.
No marriage, no joint assets, a trust, and a lawyer on standby. That's not cynicism. That's a man who read the legal landscape accurately and structured his life to survive it. In an era where no institutional protection exists for men in family court, discernment isn't optional. It's infrastructure.
I lived in a different country for almost a year, and one thing that became very apparent to me is the fact that chivalry is very much not dead in America. I lived in Germany, so maybe this is a Germany specific thing, but in Germany, men will not open the door for you. They will not go out of their way to help you. Essentially, they will not treat you any differently than they would a man. And it's because in Germany, there is this fierce equality of the sexes, but not even equality. They just view women as the exact same as men, meaning why would they go out of their way to do something extra for women when women are just as capable of doing it themselves? I'll give you a couple of more concrete examples. So when I was moving back to the United States from Germany, I did not ship any of my stuff. I just carried 4 very, very heavy suitcases through the airport. Obviously I checked my bags, but I had to get them through the airport to check them. Anyways, when I was in the German airport, everyone just kind of looked at me like I was crazy. No one offered to help, nothing like that. But it becomes very apparent when I touched down in the United States, and I touched down like Seattle or Salt Lake City or something was my connecting flight, and you have to recheck your bag. And when I tell you I did not pick up a single one of my suitcases from the conveyor belt because someone helped me every single time. Like, I would say in a span of 20 minutes, at least 5 different people, and they all happened to be men, asked me if I needed help with my bags. And the sense of relief that I felt, because it was a very tough day. Those were very, very heavy suitcases, and it was stressful. It was hard to carry them all by myself. And the sense of relief that I felt coming back into the United States and having so many people ask me if I needed help to grab my bags from the conveyor belt.
You want to know the secret to making sure a man always treats you incredible? It's very simple, and this is a lesson that I personally learned the hard way. It's making your own money. Because listen, ladies, I get it. It's so nice to have a guy pay your bills. It's so nice to not have to worry about that shit. But ultimately, it's a trap. Because when that guy knows that your survival is dependent on him, he knows he can get away with a lot, because for you to walk away is you having to figure out how to do those things yourself. It's that, God forbid, if shit hit the fan, if you found out he was having an affair with your best friend, you could walk out the door and support yourself. That energy keeps a man in check. Plan A is ending up with a guy who treats you incredible forever. But always have a plan B and make your own money in case, God forbid, plan A doesn't go as planned. That's how you remain powerful and in control of your life, and never in the position to be subservient to a man who's doing you dirty. This fantasy is pushed by the patriarchy because it makes women dependent on men. That's why all these 19-year-old trad wives, being set up for a lifetime of misery. I am saying this from experience. This is a lesson I learned the hard way.
Men aren't making emotional content about their dating lives because men who are doing well don't need the audience. The silence is the signal. Hold the line, exercise selection rights, and let the noise run itself out.
How did the date go? Fine, I'll tell you.
Oh, goody. A dating story from the dating coach that's perpetually single.
I'm not proud of this story, by the way. Okay, this was not a good moment for me. So basically, we went to a bar, we met up for drinks, and I was trying to suss out if he was Jewish because, like I said, he has a very Jewish sounding name. Turns out he's not. He goes, I have a Jewish friend who probably needs your matchmaking services though, and I'll invite him by. He's in the area. So I was like, okay, sure. Why not? I'm not one to turn down business. Okay. So the friend comes by. It's the 3 of us now. We're conversing. We're chatting. Pleasant, decent conversation. Really nice guy. However, I start saying, oh yeah, him and I were just I was just telling this to him, and him and I were just talking about this. Like, I'm referring to the guy that I went on the date with to his friend. And the guy that I went on the date with stops me mid-conversation, and he goes, Nelly, do you remember my name?
No.
And I was so caught off guard, you guys, that I froze and I drew a complete blank. And the truth is I did not remember his name. So instead of just saying that, I blurted out a random other name that came to my mind. I was like, maybe it's this. And he goes, no, And they're like, the friend's like, I can't believe she forgot your name. And they didn't even correct me. They just let me sit there and sulk in that. And so I start pulling out my phone, trying to discreetly like search through old texting chains, because I didn't even have his number saved, to find the name. And finally I found it. And the date ended pretty much right after that. He was like, you're free to go if you want. I was like, yeah, I think I need to walk my dog. So yeah, not sure if I'll be hearing from him again.
I have a question for men. I feel like a lot of men these days are no longer interested in dating. Like, they just totally gave up on dating. Why do you think that is the case?
The apology era being anticipated requires a level of genuine accountability that the current cultural moment isn't producing. Empty words deployed for personal gain are already the familiar pattern. Humanity would need a structural reset for the dynamic to actually shift. And structural resets don't arrive on demand or on schedule.
I don't expect anybody to watch this. This is just going to be me kind of like vomiting my feelings out into the universe. But I'm 41 years old. And if I could give one piece of advice to women who are younger than me, it would be this. Please decenter men, sis. Please, bestie. Decenter the men, and don't look back. Please focus on yourself, focus on your career, focus on your hobbies, your silly TV shows, your friendships, your career, your education, literally anything except for men. Because I have wasted 20 years of my life in these fucking shitty relationships with men that just treated me like varying degrees of shit and garbage. The good news is that I'm done now, and I'm never ever gonna do it again. And I really am just done with dating men, forever. And luckily I'm bisexual, so I don't ever have to, that doesn't mean that I can never date anybody again. And I'm sure that dating women comes and, any non-men comes with its own set of problems. I'm sure that it does. But, yeah, I truly, my ex is just one of those guys that wants to call himself a feminist and wants to tell himself that he's a good person, and he's not. He's a fucking piece of shit, and he wasted a year and a half of my life. He's my age, and he clearly did not ever see a future with me in the relationship, but he kept me around and basically used me for like emotional support, emotional labor, free therapy. I don't know what. It surely wasn't sex, because we weren't having sex because his dick doesn't work. That's right. His dick doesn't work. And so, yeah, then, he and I were he discarded me in a breakup, which, like, I am going to fucking tell that story. Like, you better believe shit will be aired out now, whether people want to hear it or not. That's fine. It's fine. Whew. But he discarded me in like a really shitty, sudden way after we'd been together for a year, and then acted like he still wanted to be friends. And it was a big mistake not cutting access off to him when he did that. Like, it was a big fucking mistake. And I know that now. But yeah, so we were friends, and he basically was like my best friend, which is just so sad and pathetic on my part. Don't ever make a straight cis man your best friend. Please don't do that, because they are not good friends. And, he was just using me as a placeholder, and he started dating this like friend of his that he had feelings for. They've been together for 3 months. He took her to meet his family for Christmas. I never met his family in the year that we were together. Like, you guys, when they value a woman and see a future with her and genuinely like her, they move and behave differently. And it's just devastating to see that. I don't want to be with him. He's a bad partner. Being with him is basically signing up to be his fucking hospice nurse, because he doesn't take care of his health and he has a chronic health condition. And again, can't stress this enough, his dick doesn't work. I don't want to be with him, but just the knowledge that I poured so much of my energy and time and love into this fucking relationship, for him to turn around and be, treating this woman more seriously than he treated me in the year that we were together, and the year and a half when he was wasting my fucking time, is just like, I want to set things on fucking fire. I'm so fucking pissed. And so, like, if you have made it this far watching, you're probably one of my friends on this app, and, like, love you guys, and you guys are the best. And if not, and if you're, like, a younger woman watching this, like, please, just, like, for me, please, like, you can date them, but, like, do not center them. Do not prioritize them. Let them come and go as they may, and always, always, always put yourself first, because I promise you, they will put themselves first. So, yeah.
Happiness as an internal condition rather than an external supply is the most important prerequisite for any functional relationship. People who can't generate it alone don't bring it to a relationship. They extract it, run out, and then blame the other person for the deficit. The relationship requirement should be adding to existing happiness, not manufacturing it from scratch. This isn't balance arriving in modern dating. It's mutual withdrawal accelerating. Both sides became more selective simultaneously, which sounds healthy until you realize the result is fewer relationships forming, not better ones. Men protecting their peace and women decentering relationships produces the same output. An emptier market with higher entry requirements and lower participation. The debate about whether that's progress misses the point. The question is whether the conditions that drove both sides to this position will ever actually change, or whether the commentary keeps accumulating while the gap keeps widening. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.